Dr. Anjum is just joining within 1 minute.
It's very nice to teach something which is very dear to our hearts, and statistics is something which I've been teaching from last 26 years. So it is a very thing, very close to our heart. That is very important. I
So,
have
ma'am,
some
will you be taking up the regression at VAST also, multiple regression also? Or,
yeah. I'll be taking correlation. That's what I planned. Correlation, partial correlation, simple regression, and multiple regression. I'll also be sharing how to check the assumptions, because that is very important. Otherwise, you do regression and then the result is not valid to you. That is what's the point.
very right.
I would like to share even this SPSS slide. I hope it is visible. This SPSS slide is also visible.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So I will show two examples. One examples where the normality conditions are not satisfied. You will find all the result there. And one it is satisfied. So basically checking is very important. Huh?
Ma'am, one
Dr.
person.
Priyanka, Madam Ara is Madam Anjum is very active in the Mumbai, and she's a
Yes.
known personality in Maharashtra in the field of statistics.
Thank you. Yeah.
I always see her moving and organizing various programs on statistics,
Thank you. Thank
and
you.
she has a fighting spirit also, how to fight it out for their rights. Because I know when some explanation from the UGC was required, how she fight it out with the
Yes.
University of Mumbai and the University Grants Commission, and
I
she's
got it,
down
sir.
to she's
I got
down.
the 3 increment finally after a long battle of 3 years.
Congratulations, congratulations. But she's down to earth, Madam Priyanka. Even she is related to our Honorable Central Minister Shahnawaz Bhai. Even then,
Yes.
she
He
don't
is my
use their
relative. Huh?
resources. Yes. She don't use their resources for the personal purposes, and she's a down to earth. Both husband and wife are very nice person.
Thank you, sir.
Ma'am, I
Sir,
personally feel like thank you to say thank you to you for generously sharing your time and expertise for us.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I really
Bella,
was. I heard a lot about you from Dr. Bhalla, and I was really waiting to conduct your session.
Bella sir has always been associated With any program I do, so he's always there.
Dr.
And
Balla is
now,
always active. He's doing too much for a.
yeah, every day, my God, every day I see you on Facebook, one program or the other. Very difficult and a very motivation spirit. That
There
is,
is he is, I think, the he is a like symbol of, you know, appreciation or ideal figure for all the faculty in Punjab, I think.
very active, very active. Plus, he has his own such a big group. He is president PCMA. No? That is
Yes,
also
ma'am. Yes.
a very very great thing.
Even he's sharing with so many responsibilities, so many portfolio, but we are really surprised the way he managed with the things and the way he's pulling up.
I think now, without discussing anything about me, you can straightway start the session because it
Uh,
is absolutely
okay,
4:45.
sir. Just 1 minute left, so I was waiting for 4:45 to go on.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. No issue. I think the screen is PPT is there on the screen,
Yes,
correlation and
yes,
Yes,
it is
yes,
visible.
ma'am.
It is visible.
Shall we start, sir?
Yes.
Okay,
shall we
I welcome all the participants to the second session of the day on correlation and regression. And the resource person for the session is Dr. Anjum Ara Ahmed. She is associate professor in statistics in Rizmi College, Mumbai, and acting as a principal also. After completing her post-graduation in statistics, she did a doctorate in economics. She did her double post-graduation in population sciences. She has more than 25 years of academic experience in Rizmi College. Adding with her administrative experience, she has also worked as in the capacity of principal, vice principal, and IQAC coordinator for many years. Dr. Anjum has published more than 20 papers in national and international journals and presented more than 15 papers in the proceeding of national and international conferences, and was also awarded as best paper presented at UEA Dubai. She has 2 books to her credit with International Publication House at Germany and has acted as resource person for more than 14 national and international conferences. She has been honored with an international award titled Indo Global Exemplary Educationist Award on 27th Feb 2018 from Indo Global Chamber of Commerce, Industries and Agriculture. We are delighted with your presence, ma'am, and thank you for sharing your expertise with our participants. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to thank the organizer, Dr. Balla, for asking me to be the resource person for this session. It's very nice feeling to be part of this. A warm evening to the organizers as well as the participants. I will start with the slideshow of my PPT. The slides. So the first slide is available. The slideshow is
Yes, yes,
available.
it is
Yes,
available.
yes, ma'am.
It is.
Okay. So correlation and regression. My topic. I'm Dr. Mrs. Anjum Ara Ahmed, working in Rizvi College of Arts, Science and Commerce. Now, what is correlation? Correlation basically means relationship between two or more variables. Correlation can be positive, it can be negative, it can be zero. Positive correlation means if the value of one variable increases, then the value of the other variable also increases. Negative correlation means the value of one variable decreases. There's some error, and the value of the other variable also decrease. Now we are going to study basically measuring correlation between two variables. So measuring can be done by using the correlation coefficient small r. R can be any value ranging between -1 to +1. R is +1, then there is a perfect positive correlation between the two variables. R is -1, then there is a perfect negative correlation between the two variables. If R is 0, then there is 0 or no correlation between the two variables. Mostly R lies between -1 and +1, and it is mostly in points. If we can say that if R is between 0 and 1, then the correlation is positive. That means if one increases, the other also increase. If it is between -1 and 0, then the correlation is negative. If it is more than 0.5, then generally we say it's highly positive, positively correlated. It is less than -0.5, then we say it is mostly negatively correlated. Generally, the classification is not fixed, but mostly we say if it is lying between 0 to 4, it is low. 0.4 to 0.7, it is moderate. 0.7 to 1, we say it is high. So same way, negative correlation, 0 to minus 0.4, low. Minus 0.4 to minus 0.7, it is moderate. Minus 0.7 to -1, we say the negative correlation is high. Actually, there's an admit coming. If data is not, so it is disturbing my screen. Can this be muted
Yes.
on my screen?
Yes,
Admit.
yes.
If data is non-parametric, then the relationship is not called correlation, it is called association. So generally, if the data is nominal, we say there's association between two variables. So we can, SPSS covers three major methods for measuring correlation. One is Karl-Pearson correlation coefficient. One is Spearman's rank correlation coefficient. Kendall-Tau B correlation coefficient. These are the main three, though SPSS also measures eta and all that, but I will be covering. Then Pearson method is used in mostly in parametric method, and Spearman's and Kendall-Tau B method is used in measure of association. There's one more called eta also. The Karl-Pearson method is generally used to measure linear correlation between continuous or parametric variables. We can measure this correlation between using SPSS software. Running correlation in SPSS, it's very simple. We can just go to analyze and then click on correlate. SPSS is a facility of opening Excel files. So if you have put your data in Excel, you can import it into SPSS. You can run simple as well as multiple correlation. What is simple correlation? When two variables is correlated and taken into study, then it is simple correlation. When multiple variables are taken into study, then it is called multiple correlation. We can find Pearson correlation and check its significance also. If P is low, means P value is low, then we say then alpha. If P value is lower than alpha, which is our level of significance, we reject H0. H0 is defined as there is no significant difference between the correlation, no significant correlation between the variables. And if your P value is high, then we say there's a significant correlation between the two variables. So we can draw also confidence interval, we can plot graphs. So all this can be done in by SPSS. So if you want to use SPSS, then you should go where analyze, and then you should go for bivariate correlation. You will get this type of box. You will have the variables, many variables can come on this side. Wherever you want to check your variable, you can put on the right hand side and you can check it. So you will find basically all the Pearson. If it is continuous, it is better you go, and parametric, go for Pearson. If it is non-continuous, non-parametric, then you go for Kendall-Tau and Spearman. See, basically correlation needs that the variable should be parametric and there should be a linear correlation, relationship between the two variables. So that is one of the basic assumptions. If you want to test for correlation, you can go for two-tailed test, you can go for one-tailed test. The SPSS also helps you in flagging the significant, which correlations are significant. This is as far as correlation is concerned. Now the next two, as I said, Spearman's and Kendall-Tau, which is also tested in the same screen. When variables are non-parametric, we can use this statistics. If normality conditions are not satisfied, or the data is non-continuous, or the relationship is not linear, or there are outliers in the data, then we should prefer non-parametric methods. Kendall-Tau method is preferred to Spearman's rank method. The reason is that Kendall-Tau correlation is more robust and efficient than Spearman's correlation. So if there are small samples and there are some outliers, then also Kendall-Tau method is preferred. Spearman's rho usually is larger than Kendall-Tau. If there are too many ties, then also Kendall-Tau method is preferred. The interpretation is same way how we interpret the Pearson's method. Now correlation can be classified basically into three types. You can have zero correlation, you can have partial correlation, you can have semi-partial correlation. Zero correlation means a simple correlation between the two variables without controlling the influence of any other variable. So that basically it is called as Pearson's correlation. Partial correlation is we have correlation between between an independent variable and dependent variable, but we are controlling the influence of the other variable on the both independent as well as dependent variable. That it is the correlation between independent and dependent variable after the linear effects of other variables have been removed from both the independent variable as well as the dependent variable. Partial correlation is very widely used in regression, and it helps us in identifying which variable is going to have more influence in the regression model. Then third one, part, or it is also called as semi-partial correlation. It is the correlation between the independent variable and the dependent variable after linear effects of other independent variables are removed from the independent variable only, not from the dependent variable. So squared semi-partial tells us how much unique contribution of an independent variable to the total variation in the dependent variable. So these are the various different types of variation. Generally, people want to study zero and partial. Semi-partial is not that much studied, but SPSS gives you all the three values. As I said, there is it has to be parametric. The same way semi-partial also has, partial also it has to be. You have to be one independent variable, one dependent variable. Variable should be continuous. There should be one or more. This is the basically the assumption for partial correlation. So you should have one or more control variable, linear relationship should be there between the variables. Suppose if we are studying partial relationship between three variables, then there should be linear relationship. There should be no significant outliers in your variables, and your variable should be approximately normally distributed. Now next is, if you are doing analyzing partial correlation, then you do analyze, you go to correlate, and then you go to partial. Earlier we have gone to bivariate. This time we will not go to bivariate, we will go to partial. So SPSS has a menu where you can do partial correlation as well. So suppose we have three variable, age, weight, and one more factor, how this factor is affecting. So we can put weight is there, two variables are there. I want to control the effect. This is just an example. The variable which I want to control will be put here in the third one. And the variable whose correlation, partial correlation I have to find will be put here. So you can see it's very easy. Put the two variable and you want to control the age. Then what happens? You click these next, and then you will get this on the, so here see, even if you, when we click for partial correlation, you will get the zero correlation. Zero correlation means Pearson correlation. So the screen, your output will be divided into two parts, this blue and this red. So this blue is basically giving you the correlation between your three variable, and your red is giving you the correlation between the partial correlation between the two variables, excluding the effect of age on these two variables. So I'll be taking live example also. This is just showing you how to do partial correlation and how to do correlation. So if we can do it. I will explain the whole PPT, then I will take examples of correlation and regression together. Is it okay, sir?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Perfectly fine.
It's fine, no?
Yes.
Hello?
Perfectly fine, ma'am.
Okay. Because these are related to each other. Okay. So next, I was given the topic of simple linear regression. Now, if there's a correlation between two variables, then our purpose is to estimate the value of one variable given the value of the other variable. So generally, linear regression has the equation y is equal to a plus bx plus e. This is a linear equation. Y is a dependent variable and x is an independent variable. Generally, linear regression is good if there is a correlation between x and y. because we want to estimate y given x. So obviously, if there is a correlation between y and x, then only it can help us in estimating y given the value of x. So A is basically your y-intercept, and B, which is also called beta, is the regression coefficient, which is also called the slope of the line. E is the error term, and when you estimate, then it is called y hat. Y hat is the estimated value. So y hat is equal to A plus bx. So y hat is basically your estimated value of y by using this equation. Y is equal to A plus bx plus E. I think so. Everyone is getting.
Yes, ma'am. Perfectly fine.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Perfectly fine.
It's audible and people are getting it.
Yes,
yes,
ma'am.
we
Hello?
are getting.
Yes, ma'am. That
It's
getting it.
audible.
It is
Yes,
audible, ma'am.
Hello?
Absolutely clear.
Okay. Then simple regression, how to do? We'll go same way, analyze, and we'll go to regression, and then we'll click linear. So as I said, there will be dependent variable and there is an independent variable. So dependent variable means suppose you have age, income. Suppose I want to find income, you depending income can be dependent variable and age can be independent variable. So outcome variable is basically called the dependent variable. There is only one variable in single model we are taking. So in regression, one variable is a dependent variable. It is denoted by y, and this variable is dependent on many variables. In simple regression, we take only one independent variable. But if we take multiple regression, then we have many independent variables. So that is how we classify between simple and multiple. So if there are many predictors, then we say it is simple regression. And if there are many predictors or many independent variables, we say it is multiple regression. And that is denoted by X. So multiple regression. So one independent variable, if there are more than one independent variable, then we say it is multiple regression. Now equation of multiple regression is y is equal to this. I am taking only two variables. It can be x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, anything. So y is equal to a plus b1 x1 plus b2 x2 plus error term. If I estimate, an estimated y hat is a plus b1 x1 plus b2 x2. So y hat basically is the estimated value of y. The SPSS give you both beta estimated, B I have written here, beta estimated and standardized beta estimated. What is unstandardized beta estimated or unstandardized beta estimate? It helps you to find the value of y. I mean, estimate the value of y. If I know beta 1, if I know beta 2 or B1 or B2, I can estimate y through my model. And what is standardized beta estimate? It is used to find which variable is strong. With which of my predictors, which of my variable is strong, which independent variable is strong. So what is R? Here see I'm using capital R. We have earlier used small r. This is different. This is capital R. Capital R is the correlation between your value y, your variable y, and your estimated value y hat. So the correlation between this is called as R. And square of R, which is called R square, is called the coefficient of determination. So R square is basically what is used to measure the power of the test. I mean, whenever you are having multiple regression, you might have multiple models. So R square will help us to, even if there is one model, you can check the power of that test by calculating R square. SPSS gives you R square. R lies between 0 and 1. R square also same thing. Multiple regression, the more the value of R square, better is the test. Using SPSS, we can use multiple regression using enter option or stepwise regression option. So model fit statistics also is given in SPSS, and we can also find which variables are significant using p-values. P-value is less, please remember, p-value less than 0.05, we reject H0 under 5% level of significance. In normal ways, you can say, they say P low, H0 go. So this is some, but statistically we say p-value is less than 0.05, less than we say H0 is rejected. That means the variable has a significant effect in the model. Understanding and interpreting the model is also very important. So these things one should understand, that how to interpret whether the statistics is significant, the variable is significant or not. So regression basically helps you in through the p-value, whether you will find that whether the, and also you find out whether the model is fit or not. So model summary can be given by all the, you get R value, you get R square value. If there are more than one model, then we also get adjusted R square value. We see what is the difference, the change in R, that also we can get in SPSS. ANOVA table, whether your model is fit or not. F value, significance of the model. We'll also find residual statistics, and in that itself you can find correlation, zero, partial, and part. So if you are doing regression, simultaneously you can do also correlation and check, see which variables are correlated, and go ahead. For entering the values in regression, there are a lot of choices. So basically, 5 choices I've considered. One is enter method, where all variables which you are interested, which you are interested can be entered at one go. There is block method, where you can enter variables in different blocks, block 1, block 2, block 3, and then you can check which block or which method is, which block is better. Then forward method. Forward method start from 0 variable, 1 variable. It is done automatically. Backward method, stepwise method. So one can use any method for analyzing data in SPSS. Stepwise method includes regression model in which the choice of the predicted variable is carried out by automatic process. Stepwise method, backward method, forward method, all these methods, you have to basically, the method automatic selection is done by the SPSS. They only selected. So what happened basically, stepwise, they take the variable and they drop the variable. In forward method, they start from 1 variable and go on adding variables. So they start with no predictors. And in backward method, what happened? All predictors are taken, and then one by one they are dropped, and the SPSS finds out which is the best model. So these are basically the method used in SPSS. Very important is the assumptions in regression. Now assumptions are very, very important. Now you can do regression. Everyone can do, just use SPSS and do it. What is the difference between a layman and a person who knows statistics? The one who does properly is is a man who is a knowledgeable person. It's like a garbage in and garbage. You can put any data, you will get result. But whether the result is authentic, for that you have to check the assumptions in regression. As I said, 2 things are very important. One is that which rate, first of all, check on assumptions in regression, and then second thing is that you have to basically check whether how to interpret the data. So these 2 things you have to know very well. So what are the assumptions? First of all, dependent variable should be continuous variable. It should be either interval or ratio scale. I think the scale is covered. Scale is covered, no, ma'am? Hello?
Scale is covered, ma'am.
Okay, so dependent variable should be a continuous variable. Dependent, independent, linear relationship should be there between the dependent variable and the independent variable. You can easily check this by using the scatter plot. There is scatter plot in the SPSS. Then autocollinearity, you should check between the residuals. You should have no autocollinearity in your data. That you can do by using Durbin-Watson method. Some people skip in regression checking autocollinearity because they say this problem is generally in time series data, but it is better if you check. So the value of Durbin-Watson data generally lies between 0 and 4. So the ideal value is 2. But if you have even if you have between 1 and 3, it's okay. So the value of Durbin-Watson should lie between 1 and 3. Less than 1, we say it's a nonsense data. Less than 1, if you are having Durbin-Watson, then you please check your data has some problem. And so this is more, as far as autocollinearity is concerned, it is an error. It is a collinearity between the errors. So basically, there should be no collinearity between the errors. So it is better you check. Then very, very important major problem in regression is the collinearity or multicollinearity. So you have to check for collinearity. or for multicollinearity. So here in this we have VIF, that is a variance inflation factor. It is calculated by SPSS. The variance inflation factor should be ideally less than 3, but some people even take the leverage of less than 5, they allow. And tolerance index is basically 1 upon VIF. So that should be more than 0.3. So even if you check only VIF less than 3, it is more than sufficient. If you are getting less than 3 collinearity, it is very, very good. Your data doesn't have multicollinearity problem. Then your dependent variable should be normal. Dependent variable should be normal. You can check by two things. You can plot QQ plots for normality, and then you can also check by two tests. One is Kolmogorov-Smirnov test, and one is Shapovalov test. These are the two tests for normality, and here you should get p-value more than 0.05. So if your value, even if you don't, if you plot QQ plots is there, but and some people don't find Kolmogorov-Smirnov test that better, so people rely more on Shapovalov test. So you can see both of them, whichever. But here your p-value should be more than 0.05. Please remember, p-value should be more than 0.05. Then only we can say normality conditions are satisfied. Otherwise, normality conditions are not satisfied. So this reverse. So please understand this. In heteroscedasticity, here you have to check whether the error anormally distribution. So how to check that? Whether the, so for that we should plot the residual plots have to be plotted. So and then homoscedasticity we have to check. Residual plots have to be plotted, and absence of outliers also have to be checked. Absence of outliers can be checked by various methods. One is Cook's distance, and one is whether the standardized residue lies between -3 and +3. So you see how many you can check in this, because the more it is you check for these assumptions, it is better, and you can go on. So for checking the scatter plot, it is very easy. You go for chart builder, and then you have different types of chart. From here you take scatter dot, pull it here, and see what type of scatter plot you are getting. So generally linearity is there if you can draw a line. So see, from here you can pull and see if there's a line can be drawn, then we can say that there is a linearity between the two variables. And other variations can be checked in regression itself. So you just put your dependent variable, you put which are your independent variable, then you check on model fit, R square, descripted part, partial, case-wise diagnostic. You can check the outliers here. You can put your residuals, R present, Z residuals, both one on y-axis. I'll demonstrate when we do. This is just the screen I'm showing. So this will help you, and then you can also save your Cook's distance and check whether there is any outlier or not. If Cook value is less than 1, generally we say there is no outlier. If it is more than 1, there is outlier. And if you are if you want to really check it, then there are more methods also to checking for outlier. But this is basically the basic things. You can even go for the residual between -1 and +1. So you can put everything, and you can. So this is as far as the PPT is concerned. I'll just open one SPSS file and show you how you can do the data. So you can see this age, income, years data. And gender?
Yes,
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 ma'am.
we can see.
The SPS window being, we can see.
Yeah, SPSS window I have opened. I've taken a very simple data where there is an age, numerical variable, average income, average monthly income, another numerical variable, years of experience, another numerical variable, and one gender, which is basically another variable. Okay. So analyze. So if you want to do first correlation, I can go to partial correlation, sorry, bivariate correlation. I can put these three variables. I can put in one go, or I can put one after the other. If simple correlation, two variables. If multiple correlation, if you want to do. See. Screen. 1 minute. Output is not shared, no?
No, ma'am, output is not visible.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just 1 minute checking. Not opening. 1 minute. Output screen, I'm just trying to share. It is not getting shared.
Take your time, ma'am, it's okay.
No issue, no? Just 2 minutes. Huh? The screen
Yeah,
is not
no,
coming.
no hassles, no issues.
I think so. The concept is understood. I just explained. So I'll do one by one. I'm again doing it because the screen of output is not coming.
We can see the screen, output screen now.
You can see?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, 1 minute. It's not coming on my screen. I don't know.
So it's
No, no,
not
ma'am.
there. It's not there.
It's not there. It's this FPS window. We can.
It's not there, no? That's what I cannot see. It is not coming.
Well, you share it again from your share. Screen.
Yeah, 1 minute. Yeah, it is not getting shared. That's what I also can see. It is not getting shared. So it is already open, but it is not opening. आउटपुट स्क्रीन नहीं आ रहा है.
Ma'am, can you go to the share screen again?
Yeah, 1 minute. I'm just trying to share the output screen. It's not coming. Coming 1 minute. Sir. I'm doing it again. It's not coming. Output.
Because sir, can ma'am go for again?
Ma'am, can I request something?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ma'am, please stop sharing this screen. Then you
Okay,
again
and
go
then-
to the share screen window. From there, you open the output and then again share.
Okay. It's not getting shared. I don't know what's the issue now.
Now you go to the share screen, ma'am. Click share screen and then pick up
1 minute,
output.
sir. I think that the SPSS is not taking the output. It is not showing. 1 minute, sir. Taking some time in opening. I've closed it. I've closed the SPSS. I'm restarting it.
Right, ma'am.
It was on pause for a long time. So maybe that is the reason.
Mean the time, ma'am, can you take one question, little question from participant side?
1 minute, so let me start this because I'm restarting it. Yeah, it's coming. Can you see now?
Yes, ma'am. Perfectly.
Yeah, there was a problem. At least the SPSS was not working properly. It was not showing. So what I did, I closed it and I restarted the SPSS because it was on pause for a long time. So maybe that's the reason. So
No
this is
issues, ma'am. This is
yeah.
absolutely
So
fine.
this is what it shows. See it very clearly. It shows the 3 variable age. This is multiple correlation. Age, average monthly income, years of experience. So it shows the Pearson values, the significance, so, and significant two-tailed. So generally, how do you check the significance? Same way, if it is less than 0.05, then you reject the hypothesis and we say that the correlation is significant. Now here they are checking for 0.01. So, but you can check for 0.05. Generally in social sciences, we check for 0.05. So if you see your significant two-tailed, so this is not significant. Average monthly income and age, years of experience is also not significant. If the alpha is 0.05, year also, so same way, but average monthly income and years of experience is, you can see it is very much significant. So 0.00, so it is significant on both 1% as well as 5% level of significance. Others are not coming significant. Okay, so this is as far as the first thing. Yes, ma'am, what was the question?
Ma'am, you continue. We can take the question answer round at the end.
Okay. So this is as far as the coming back to my SPSS. Okay, you can see age, average, years of experience and gender.
Yes,
Hello.
ma'am. Yes.
Here now, so I've checked for this is was for as far as the correlation is concerned. Same way, I can check for partial correlation. So here I'll go for partial. I want to, my variable is same, age, monthly income. Okay, I want to check the relationship between the two, and I want to control over years of experience. Means I want to find the correlation of my age, monthly income, average monthly income and age, and I want to control the relation years of experience. Means what is it? So if I put again, you can see the options. Same, there's not much to do in options, and then I can press OK. You can see the screen again and again. I'll have to check because automatically it's not taking. So you can see the screen.
Yes, ma'am. Partial correlation, we can see it.
Partial correlation is there. So it gives you this. Now if I have not clicked correlation there, if I click correlation there, I get both the things in one. Like if you go here and if you do correlation, if you do partial correlation and you see options, you take all. If you click all, you can see the screen,
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
output screen, output screen.
Yes, ma'am. This is visible correlation. We can see.
Correlation, you can see your average monthly income, age, years of, this is your zero correlation. And below you are getting your partial correlation. So when I see my correlation between average monthly income and age, it is 0.252. And if I take again, so I'll get 0.270. So slightly is increasing. So years of experience is not having that much effect on my correlation. So this is the conclusion. Same way you can do the other way also. Like if you want to check, suppose I take, if I do vice versa, see here, it is age and average monthly income and years of experience. If I conclude for age, so the correlation, partial correlation is having some effect, but it is not that much of effect. So this way we can find out all combination, what is the partial correlation between the variables. Then I can go for regression, linear regression. Now if you want, as I said, I want to test for what is the average monthly income and my variables age. Okay, I can want confidence interval of estimate. I can put, I can R square change descriptive part portion. I can say Cook's distance because simultaneously I can check. I've not checked for then, and I can use. I'll try to use the methods. First method, let us take enter method. What is the thing? What happens?
You can continue, ma'am. It's perfectly understandable.
Understandable. No? So if I put enter method, so my model, I'll get only one model. Enter method takes all the variable at one go. So my model R value is 0.849, R square is 0.721, adjusted R square is 0.709. You can see the Durbin-Watson is coming more than 1, though it is less than 2. It's okay, between 1 and 3 is acceptable. So this we can ignore also, but if you check, there is nothing problem. Now NOVA, see the model is good, it is significant. So your predictor, years of experience and age. See your years of experience and age is significantly contributing on your predictors are good. So then see, this is your constant value 18,788. This is your A, this is your B1, beta 1, this is your beta 2. So if you want an equation y is equal to A plus bx, b1x plus b2x, so I can say this is your A, 18,788.208 is your A, plus b1 means 111.833, 8.33 into age, plus 810 plus 581.582 into years of experience. So this is your regression equation, linear equation. Now, what is your standardized coefficient of beta tells you which variable is more powerful. So age, the standardized coefficient beta is 0.149. And second one is a years of experience is 0.814. So which variable is more powerful? Years of experience is more powerful. Here you are getting your confidence limit. See, here also you are getting your zero correlation. Correlation between your variable, your dependent variable and age is 0.252 and 0.836. Partial correlation 0.7 and 0.838. And part correlation. Part correlation means taking only on one variable, 0.148 and 0.811. Now, as I said, collinearity, there should be no collinearity. Here we are getting a very ideal situation. We are getting 1 and 1.018 and 1C because there is not much collinearity between the data. So if there is not much collinearity between your dependent variable, you can see here the collinearity is less. What is the collinearity here? 0.8, 0.252. So if there is not much, then we will find generally that your VIF is less. So we are getting 1. 1 is a very good value for VIF. These are the residual values. Now standard residual, this you can use for checking your outlier also. So standard residual minus 2.083 and plus minimum value is minus 2.083 and the maximum value is 2.872. So here it is lying between minus 3 and plus 3. So the outlier, outliers are very less probable to have outliers, and Cook distance is also less than 1. So the outliers is not a major thing. Now you can even plot some data here doing this regression. So if I go plot, I can put this Z predictable, I will put here, and Z residual here. And this method I can use for checking for normality condition, whether your data is following normal or not. Various ways are there for checking. This is one way. Everything might come again, so let's be patient. Just want to show the chart. See, so see the way it is normally distributed. Your dependent variable average monthly income is normally distributed. So nicely it can be seen. It also gives you the PP plot. So normality condition, and when you check the residuals with homoscedasticity, you can see that the residuals are not showing any pattern. Your residual should not show any pattern. If it is showing, then there is some error in the data. So this data is very nice. It is giving you, it is satisfying all the conditions. We can check normal and linearity in other way also. I'll show it to you. So, and what is it concluding? What is it concluding? That is also very important. So you see here, constant age. What is the significant value? P value of age 0.061. So this is not less than alpha. My alpha I'm taking as 0.05. This is more than. So age is not significant. But years of experience, what is my P value? 0.00. It is less than 0.05. So years of experience is significant. So what I can say that years of experience is having a significant effect on average monthly income. But age is not having a significant impact on my average monthly income. So this is the conclusion of regression. So I am able to get the regression line equation by using this B. I'm also able to find which variable is more important. By this itself, I got the correlation also, and I checked mostly all the assumptions. Now, if I have to check the assumptions for linearity, then I have to go somewhere else. I have to go to chart builder. Okay, when you can see, madam, chart builder.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So chart builder, I will take the scatter. I want the scatter plot. I will pull it here. So I will not coming. Problem is there. Okay. Chart builder. Okay, my y-axis is average monthly income. Okay, my age is my, okay, I'll leave age. Let me take years of experience because that is coming. Years of experience. What is happening? I'm getting some equation. I want to be very clear. So, I will put okay. Ma'am, you can see the output.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So,
Simple
if
scatter.
G, the graph is seen.
Yes, ma'am, it is visible. The graph we can see of your relationship of years of experience.
Okay. So if I put the graph, I can draw the line. I did a mistake in drawing the line. 1 minute. I draw multiple line. I'll just show it. I'll do it. So I've drawn multiple line by mistake. I draw it again. 1 minute. I want to check the linearity condition between my dependent variable and my independent variable. So reset it. And I'm getting this. See, very nice plot. You can see the plot, the scatter
Yes,
plot.
yes.
So this is, you can see, it's very nicely coming linear. Even if you don't put the line, it is coming linear. But if you want to put the line, then you have to be very careful and you can apply. You can see the line, simple scatter. Hello.
Actually, ma'am, there's a lot of graph. Yes, now it is visible. It is visible, ma'am.
See ma'am, there is a line. We can easily see that the linearity condition is there between the dependent variable and the independent variable. X and Y. Years of experience is your X value and average monthly income is your Y value. So you can check the linearity condition. So this is a very ideal problem where all the conditions are satisfied and we can easily see the everything. So this is as far as regression is concerned for value. Okay. Please. So you anything? This is for one. Should I take one more example? Hello.
You sure, ma'am? Can we take one or
Or
two
you can see
cases?
the cook values. The cook values are coming here. See the cook distance are not more. It is very less. So we can say that hardly any outliers. Now I've taken 3 variables. All the 3 variables were continuous variable. We can also take categorical variable. Here I've kept one categorical variable, gender. MF, male, female. Now this also can be taken as one of the variable in my data. But then I cannot take it as MF. I have to code it to 0 and 1. So I have to go here to transform and I have to recode into maybe same variable or different variable. So suppose I go into transform and recode into different variable. So my variable is gender. I put it inside. My new variable I can put as gender code. Okay, same thing. Okay. Okay. Gender I'm taking into gender code, and then I can take value. What is my value? M and F. So I will take M, and for M I will take the value, suppose 0, and I will add, then as 1, and then add 1, and then I will continue. Okay. So if can see this screen, 1 minute, I'll share it again. Can see this screen, 0, 1 has come.
Yes, ma'am. Gender code has come.
Yeah, code has come. I can make it this 0. I don't want any decimal point. So my variable view, see now it is 0, 1. Now I can take this as one of my variable in the regression, and I can do it. And this is why dummy variable. So generally the rule for taking dummy variable in regression is that you have to code it into 0 and 1. So if there are 2 dummy variable, I can put 0, 1. If there are 3 dummy variable, then I have to take different combinations, 0, 1, 1, 0, and all that. And there are 3, then 0, 0, 1. So one variable will be 1 and remaining will be 0. Accordingly, then you can analyze. Like I can again go put regression, linear. Now I can add gender also to it. Gender code, sorry, gender directly I cannot take. Independent variable. I'm using method. Let me go to stepwise regression. Okay. Remaining things I'm keeping as it is. Okay. I'm not asking for cook again and again. Okay. Can see the output data or to share it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Of course. There's the chart also, and there's a linear line also coming.
What is the difference now in the model that you will come to know? Now here I have done stepwise regression. You can see here they're showing stepwise regression. Okay, but I'm not getting multiple models. Why? Because only one variable is significant. Stepwise regression doesn't give you models which are not significant. So I'm getting only 1 years of experience. If you use enter, you will get a different result. But here it is showing only 1 years of experience and average monthly income. Means only years of experience is having one. So I will find that the significant model is significant. I'm getting only 1. See, there's a difference. FI variable does not take, it deletes variable which are not significant. So it removes it, automatically it removes. So it has excluded gender code and age. Here because they are not finding age and gender code as variable which are significant. So they have taken only one variable as a significant variable and shown that this variable is significant. This is the difference between gender code in stepwise equation. It will see they change here. Collinearity is not an issue in this problem. See the histogram is coming, PP plot is there. So this way you will find that stepwise regression has it does not, it just shows the variable which is significant, remaining it does not take. So various, you can see which method you want. Some people want to show all the model. So you can even choose your model. Like you can go linear regression, you can go to linear. And instead of stepwise, you can create your own model. I will take 1 by 1 and I can create my model block by block. Yes. This mouse. Mouse. 1 minute. This mouse is having a problem. This mouse is creating problem now. Yeah, mouse is creating problem now. 1 minute, just hold on. So here, I will take one by one. So I'm removing all these things are there. I will take one by one. So let me take block one. So I've taken the first block. I have taken age. Then I'm taking next. Next I'm taking years of experience. Okay. Then I'm taking one more block. I'll take gender. Okay. What is it? Gender code should take. Gender it will not accept. Gender code. Okay. So I have taken 3 blocks. Then same way, statistics, I'm using all the statistics, plots are there. And then again, I'm pressing. What is the difference? Here I have created, what I have done, I have created my own models. So I have created, okay, years of experience and gender code. I have entered. So what is happening here? So I got for 0.838 R square. Then in the model 2, for when I added gender code 0.838, what is happening? There's a slight increase in the R square. Okay. Then both the models are significant. First one also and second one. First model was only age of experience. Second model, age of experience, gender code. And dependent variable was average monthly income. Now both model result they will give. First model and second model. So you can see first model, B value, A value, B1 value, A, B1, B2. 2 variables here, only 1 variable here. I have excluded age in both. So I'm not including age. Gender, first I have excluded age and gender code. In second one I have excluded age. Residuals. And then this is my variable. This is also scattered around. This is normality conditions are satisfied. So you can see that all you can do in various ways. Now you have to see what you want to do and how you want to do. That is the main thing. Then you can even do one more thing. You can go to explore, from analyze, go to explore. Your dependent variable is average monthly income. If you want to check for normality and outliers, you can even try here. Descriptive statistics. Even if you don't want to check for outliers, you can just click it, see how it behaves. Plots, normality plots with test. I don't want stem and leaf. I will do histogram. Let's see how it comes. This is only my dependent variable. I'm putting and checking. So descriptive, I got mean, median, all the values, skewness, kurtosis. Even skewness, kurtosis can help you in finding whether your data is variable or not. Now see here, very, very important. Just have a look. Kolmogorov sphere of test. Significant value is 0.2, which is more than 0.05. So we can say that it is normal. Your dependent variable is normal. Even Shapirovic is 0.365, which is also said to be normal. So we can here say that my variable is a normal variable. So this is my histogram, and this is my QQ plot. The PP plot also was coming, and your QQ plot average monthly income is also coming. See how linear it is coming. So it is basically on your dependent variable is following normal distribution. Okay. Okay, ma'am. Should I take another problem, or should we proceed to?
Can we take little questions?
Yes, sure.
Time, I think.
can see the output now of the last one which I have taken. Hello.
Yes, ma'am, yes.
So we have checked for normality, we have checked for linearity, we have seen how to find correlation, how to find partial correlation, we have to see how to find how to select variables in your regression model, and how to interpret the result. That also we have seen. So we have basically seen different things out in this correlation and regression session. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, one of the participants is asking that what is the acceptable R-square adjusted value and R-square predicted value?
R square is basically, as I said, na, R is the covariance correlation between Y, the Y value and your Y predicted value. So R means what is the Y, your variable Y, and what is the Y, what is the correlation, and R square is square of that. Adjusted R square, basically we try to adjust on the number of variables. I mean basically adjusted R square is basically used when you have multiple models. We want to check which model is good. So when we want to check which model is good, then we generally go for adjusted R square. Because see, whenever we say that R square is more, so variable is better. But then sometimes we are also we are taking more variables. So we go on taking more and more variables, but somewhere we are losing the degrees of freedom. So somewhere you have to have a balance between degrees of freedom and R square. So adjusted R square basically helps you in finding which, now here you see, your first model is 0.694. When you are adding B and when you are adding gender code, though your R square is increasing, but your adjusted R square is decreasing. So we can say there's no need to add gender code. Gender code is not having a significant effect. So some people take only those variables where the adjusted R square is increasing, not where the R square is increasing.
Yes, very right, ma'am. Ma'am, can we, one of the participants is asking that if our dependent variable is categorical, what type of regression is appropriate to apply?
I told you, I showed an example also of categorical.
Hanji,
If
hanji,
it is
bilkul.
categorical, you have to convert it into dummy variables.
Yes, you've taken gender as one of the examples.
Gender as, yeah. So if it was 2, so 0, 1. If it is 3, then you have to take, if there are you have to always have one less dummy variable. Means
Yes,
if there are 3
we will
dummy
take
variables, then you will
gender,
have 2.
2 variables and 3 variables.
Yes, yes. So if you have 3, then you have to take two dummy variables. 0, 1, 1, 0, that way. And 1 will be always 0, 0. Hello?
Yes, ma'am, yes.
Means you will take one variable as 1. Like suppose you have east, west, north, south. Okay. So suppose I take west as my reference. That that will be 0, 0. Now east will be 1, remaining will be 0. Then in one variable, west will be 1. North will be 1, remaining will be 0. One south will be 1, remaining will be 0. So I want to make an identity matrix in that way.
Very right, ma'am.
You
Ma'am,
have to take one less. That will be a reference variable.
can at this short span of time we can, because one of the participants is asking, we can give them some best subset selection, example of best subset selection in stepwise regression. Best subset selection.
See, as I tell you, there are various ways you can select your variables. You can go by entry method, you can go by model method, you can go by stepwise method, forward method, backward method.
Yes,
Now, generally, as I said, generally you should see where the partial correlation is high. I repeat, no?
Maybe they're asking that what best, I think this all depends.
Yeah.
Maybe they're asking
It
what
depends
best,
to, basically it's your choice. You want to see all, you want to see few, you want to go for forward. It is a personal researcher's choice. Like as my statistician, I would like to.
Personal researcher choice.
Yeah, but you can.
Hello. Am I audible, ma'am? Vikas sir?
I think some link problem is there. No.
Hanji, Hanji, Palaji.
From our side, it is okay. From our side, it is okay. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, yes, Vikas sir, very much.
I think something.
Sharing.
Now it is audible, ma'am. It was just little bit D-link was there.
Yeah, some disturbance maybe.
That though we cannot avoid, ma'am. Palaji, can we continue with the session?
हाँ हाँ, you can continue. मैडम बड़ी मुश्किल से हमारे हाथ में आए हैं, कोई बात नहीं. You can
नहीं,
continue.
अगर
Till
तो पूछ सकते हैं, कोई बात नहीं. एक और डेटा would like one more data to show by their data how problem, though everything is done, but there can be problem in the data which is not identified. Hello?
Yes.
Ma'am, I think participants' questions have been taken up.
Yes, yes. Anything else? Anyone has any question? So basic, see, the
Yeah,
steps are like that. Yes.
Ma'am, just one participant is asking, what should be the value of standard residue to check outliers?
Yeah, outliers.
Yes, ma'am. What should the value of standard residues to check outliers?
Minus, it should be between minus 3 to plus 3.
Okay.
If standard residual lie between minus 3 to plus 3, then we say that outliers are always there. You cannot, but they are not significant outliers. That is the way you can check it out.
Very right.
Madam, one question from Dr. Karanjit Sharma. He said कि Fisher's p-value formula. How is p-value calculated in SPSS output?
No, that is theoretical. We are not here to explain that. Huh?
Okay.
You can go for T statistics, F statistics value, no issue. SPSS gives you p value. Huh? It is just works in a reverse way. Huh? You need a time to explain, long time. Huh?
Ma'am, can we take a little small example, like any other example you want to share with our participants?
Yeah. So these are the things.
Very elaborative.
Yeah. So basically, see, I explained to you, we have to go step by step. It is ideal condition is that you check for correlation between the variable. If you want to avoid multicollinearity, like this problem, there was no multicollinearity. But if there is multicollinearity, then you should not take variables which are collinear. I'll show you one more example. This was a example, ideal situation, you can say, where everything was good. It's not always the case. A researcher faces lots of problems when you do research. So I'll take one data where I'll try to open and show you. You can see this different names, state, district, and all that. Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
you can see the
ma'am.
new screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, this is a very data of various districts are there of all over India, and you have a state, district, you have residence code, and you have variable like male fertility rate, female work participation, and a number of birds. This is census data, which has been taken from census. So I will remove these values. Okay, it's not getting the nodes to come. So see here, this is the data. I'll do the correlation on this. Bivariate. I will take all these variables. I'll put it. Now see here. You can see the screen.
Yes, ma'am.
You see these variables are so highly correlated. This is the data where you are getting FLR, all these variables. If I take suppose female literacy rate or one of the variable and I want to predict this variable. So you see, I can use any of the variables, male fertility rate. But these are, if I take male fertility rate, you see many variables are significantly correlated to each other. So this is now I have to do, suppose I have to be very careful if I have such type of data. I have to select the variable in such a way that there should be not much correlation between the two. Otherwise, you might land up with the problem of multicollinearity. Let us, as a layman, let us go. I will go and I will do. Okay, so I go regression. I check. I take female literacy rate as my dependent variable, male literacy rate as independent variable. I take female work participation. I take religion as sorry, and then mean number of births, infant mortality rate. Let us leave that. I take economic wealth index. So I've taken some of the variables. I've also taken residence. Here I've already created a code, residence binary code. Okay, let us first take all this. Then I take statistics, model fit, R square, descriptive, part, correlation, collinearity. Okay, let us avoid. Okay. You can even check this. Then plots. Same way, I'll take Z president in X and the Z residence in Y. We'll draw the histograms. Okay. I'll cooks if you want. I'll click both cooks and leverage values. Options. Okay. I think so. I've clicked majority of them, and I will use. Suppose first let me do enter only. Let's see how it functions. So I've taken all the variables. You can see R is very high, 0.984. You can see, ma'am, model is
Yes, ma'am, it's very high.
very high. Model is also significant. See here, but here you are finding collinearity problem. You can see here,
Yes.
here one variable 5 value is coming, one where 9 is coming. So here there is a problem of collinearity. So I was expecting it because the variables were highly correlated with each other. So when variables are highly correlated to each other, we should not put variables which are highly correlated with each other in one model. Otherwise, we'll have collinearity problem. So I have to drop one. Either I'll have to drop MLR or composite economic wealth index from my model. Otherwise, this collinearity problem will be there. Or I have to use some other methods for regression instead of regression, principal component analysis method or not. So this is one of the drawback of regression. If there is many variables, then you have to be very careful in selection of variable and check whether the variables are highly. If there are, then then you have a problem. You see here even residuals are there slightly. It goes beyond 3.082. It is going beyond. You can have a look. It should be ideally less than minus 0.3. So it is minus 0.052. Histogram is okay and PP plot is okay. So not necessary that normality. There are various things which you'll have to check before using the regression. And you have to see that the assumptions are satisfied. And then only you should go ahead. Now if you want, you can this problem, even if you draw the plot chart. So it might look result aa gaya. Students are satisfied. And if we got the result, whether the result, you have to see whether the result are proper or not. That is also very important. Suppose.
I think one of the participants is just inquiring, can we apply regression correlation to engineering problem also?
Which genuine problem?
To the engineering background students.
Yeah, it depends on the problem. What you want? What is your problem?
Engineering background.
Yeah, it's okay. But where? What do you want to apply? What is your problem? That is the question.
It can be applied to any of the, because I think that they're basically looking at the quantitative relationship. So it can be applied to any, because normally social sciences students are applying this thing, or any student with other backgrounds can also apply it.
Anyone can apply regression. Regression main motive is to estimate y given predictors variable one or multiple. That is it. If your problem is related to this, you can go ahead. It doesn't matter. what is it.
Okay.
Hmm.
And ma'am, how is the problem of multicollinearity be removed?
Multicollinearity to remove, we have to basically go for principal component analysis. That is a part of factor analysis. I think so. Then if you have two, as I said, there are two things. Either you drop the variables which are collinear with each other, and then go for regression. Like in this, as I said, what I found that this was coming highly correlated. So I removed it. Let's see how it, I removed EW, economic wealth index, and see how it is. So you have to try. You have to try models. See now, it is far better, isn't it?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
So you have to drop the variable which is affecting your model. So economic wealth index was a variable in my, I dropped it. When I dropped my collinearity condition, was removed. So you cannot take all the variables. Or you have to go for principal component analysis if you want all the variable. We reduce the number of variable into components which are not correlated to each other by using PCA technique. So that is one of the many ways you can do it. And if you are, yes.
There's a one participant, he's asking about tolerance value. I
Yeah.
think it is in multiple regression, the tolerance we use.
Tolerance is reverse of VIF, variance inflation factor. Inverse of that.
Actually, I want to ask, what does the tolerance value talks about basically?
It just inverse of variance inflation factor. This is basically checking for multicollinearity. The
Yes.
variance. So it is just reverse of that.
And
if
it
the
is
tolerance
something
is
relating to R square also, ma'am.
Yeah.
It is something relating to R square also.
R square. No. It is checking for
Some studies are saying the tolerance is estimated 1 minus R square, something like this.
Maybe the formula. We are not dealing with formula, no. Here we are basically
Maybe very
things
right.
applied.
I think, ma'am, maximum questions have been taken up. Can we invite?
If you want to go to the formula, then you have to study everything. What is beta? What is T? So we are basically looking from the SPSS point of view. Formulas, basically the application point of view. So if you want to go for formula, then you will have to see the formulas of everything. No?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
Here you just remember that if you want to check for collinearity, then your VIF should be ideally less than 3. Ideally less than 3. So many people even take 4, 5, but ideally it should be less than 3. And your tolerance is inverse of VIF. So even if you just check for VIF, it is more than enough. And if it is more, suppose if it is more, then you select only those variable where you, one of the variable where it is more, so that you have to choose properly your variable, your predictors.
Okay. Ma'am, there's one little question, if the time permits me to ask.
Yes.
One of the participants is asking, can we use association of attributes along with correlation or regression?
Association of attributes means?
Attributes.
We are using attributes only. Na? We are converting your attributes to dummy variable. Na? Like urban, rural. Yeah. So basically, if you have attributes, you have to convert into dummy variables.
We have also discussed in the example, I think.
Yeah, I have taken one example. So you can convert, as I said, see if you have 4 variables, you convert into 3 dummy. One is your reference. So you have to choose one as one. One of the variable as one. Suppose I just an east, west, north, south. You keep west as your reference. You convert into 3 variables. Okay. So north will be, wherever it is north will be 1. And so you have to make 3 variables. If it is 2, then what I said, male will be 1, female will be, or male, female will be 1.
You have already elaborated, I think.
Yeah. So dummy variable has to be created for categorical variable. Otherwise, the regression you have to convert into dummy variables.
Thank you so much.
And you can do it, no issue.
It was really, really very, very elaborative and interesting presentation. I invite Dr. Bhalla to just say a few.
You can stop sharing the screen.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Anjum, for giving this elaborative talk.
Yeah.
So even technological issues are always there, because these things like SPSS should be explained live when you are physically delivering to the class. They are monitoring everything.
Sir, just if you want to go into theoretical part, no, sir, one thing I'd like to say, then you have to go into too much of theory. Yeah.
Yes. So even then, you have done a very good justice to this topic in a very short span of time, because correlation and regression, understanding the basics of these two, as you have already said that we have to understand the basic formulas first, and then we should apply with the SPSS. Even then, in a very 75 minutes, you have done a justice with this topic, and I hope the participants are in a position to grasp many things from your lecture. So when they will be practically doing this, because everything comes with the practice, unless
Yes.
you apply this and with your basic understanding, and then try to solve the issues with the help of correlation and regulation, because number of problems in the society are now coming, and we are not understanding which problem is associated with which reason. So that's why we are not in a position to solve these issues. So thank you very much for giving this live task, and we hope that our participant may have gained.
Sir, there are many p-value formula. If they want, I can pass you the formula.
Ma'am,
Formula is not an issue. You can get the formula from any book. Huh?
You
ma'am,
will
it is a
pass it
humble
on.
request. Can you share some good name of some good books which our participants can go through to get a hold of this topic in a theoretical way?
Even you can pass on to us on PDF file. We will forward to all.
Yes, sir. Formula and all I will pass on to you, sir. No issue. That is not a problem, because formula, see, you can get from anywhere. Formula is there everywhere. How to apply is the main thing. Formula just now I have not noted down. If I have to go and check it out, so I don't have the formula handy at present, because so I have used it meant from the application purpose. So formula, you have F formula, T formula, Z formula. Similarly, P formulas are there, R formula. Just so formulas, if you want, you can refer any book and you can get the formulas. That is not an issue. Huh?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Anything else?
Vikas want to say something?
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was a wonderful session. Like in 75 minutes, you run through everything, and
भला सर ने बोला तो मैंने उसको एकदम एप्ट रखा कि मेरा टॉपिक खत्म हो जाए, और मैंने उसमें
honestly speaking, it was great presentation.
Behind you, we can see Dr. Saab, please come to the picture now.
Sorry to disturb you, sir. Bala sir, good evening.
Not at all. Not at all. You are acting like a principal in home.
he is working all day with that webinar and conferences and RM workshop. So anyway, he's an inspiration. But so I basically stick to the application part. So because you have to stick to a session, when you have to stick to a session, I thought like 1 घंटे में इससे ज़्यादा हो नहीं सकता है.
बहुत बढ़िया हुआ मैम, बहुत बढ़िया हुआ है.
तो मैंने ऐसा बोला कि लोगों को यूज करने आना चाहिए.
Dr. Ravi, you want to say something? Ravi Kumar को आप करिए थोड़ा सा. He is always on the face. I'm going to unmute you, Ravi. You want to say something?
बोलिए. नहीं, किसी को बोलना है बोलिए, कोई बात नहीं.
Ravi, मेरा ख्याल वो पिक्चर चली गई उनकी. He don't want to speak. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, I hope everything was clear. I hope the participants.
It was a wonderful session, ma'am.
Wonderful session.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you, and it was a pleasure being with you.
Good
and
luck
any
for your
information.
future. Good luck for your future assignment, which you are going to organize in a short.
Yeah. I'm coordinating for that RM workshop, research methodology workshop. There I'm going to teach correlation in a more depth, because he has given me a full session on correlation only, because correlation itself, if you teach, you can teach for more than an hour. So अभी यहाँ पे मैंने, क्योंकि आपने मुझे दोनों टॉपिक दिया था, तो मैंने बोला थोड़ा सा स्पीड में जाऊँ. So I hope I have touched the application.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for calling. Thank you for the full team.
Thank you.
And best wishes. Thank you, sir. Ji.
Okay, Vikas.
Right, sir. Can we
Yes.
leave this session?
Yes.
The meeting?
Okay. Thank you, Madam Priyanka.
Okay,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you very much.
Vikas sir.